This demonstration, what we're going to have a look at is using the Virtual Machine Administrator console to actually manage virtual machines. So what I'm going to do here is create a new virtual machine. What we'll do is we'll just come into our library view where we have some VHD files. And what I want to do here is just use this core test virtual hard disk to create a new virtual machine from. So we'll right click, create a new virtual machine. It'll bring us into a wizard. Once we're in this wizard, what we'll do is we'll then go through the various settings in order to create our virtual machine. So here we go, need to give it a name, so let's just call it Demo 5 and we'll call this -VM. The owner of this virtual machine will be the administrator user. We could put a description in here to actually explain why we're using this virtual machine or what the virtual machine is used for. Next thing to do, click our next button. What we now need to do is just configure our hardware. So what we'll do here, in the case of the memory, we'll give this virtual machine 1024 meg or a gig. Next thing we'll do here is we'll just have a look at giving it a single processor. I think that's fine. All of the other hardware, fine in the case of this demonstration here. So we don't need to change anything else. Click our next button. Then what we need to do is we need to decide that we're going to create this virtual machine either in the library or on a host. So we'll create it on the host. Now what it's going to do here is going to give me some recommendations of where to place these virtual machines. In this case here, it's saying that host 2 is the best host to place this virtual machine on, but for purposes of this demo, we'll go with host 1. Specify where we want to put the virtual machine. We specified this when we added the host into the virtual machine manager as the default location of e:\VM, so we'll leave the default and click next. We'll associate the virtual machine with the external network and select next. Now what we can do here is we can specify exactly what we want to do in the case of automatic start action. So in this case here, when the physical server starts, never automatically turn on the virtual machine, always turn it on, or turn it on only if it was running. We'll actually say at this point, never automatically turn it on. In the case of when the server stops, the physical server stops, what do we want to do? We'll save the state or turn off the virtual machine or shut down the guest. Again, we'll leave the default. And we need to specify our Windows operating system, and this is a 64-bit version of Windows Server 2008 R2 Enterprise. So specify that. This is just so we can actually search for virtual machines. Select next. Now what we'll do here is we'll just create our virtual machine, and what we'll do here is we'll just actually click create. It's now going to create the virtual machine, so it's come into the job screen. It'll go through and create the virtual machine. So while I'm waiting for this to happen, I'll just pause this video. Okay, all finished, so we'll just close this down now. And what we should be able to see if we just come back to our hosts tab, we can see we've got our 2 hosts. Click on our virtual machines tab, and we can see down here we have our Demo 5 virtual machine. So that's the end of this demonstration. Thanks very much.